I just had a breakthrough in my practice. It was amazing. It was completely different than what I thought it would be like. Nothing to do with distinguishing the colours at all. Completely the opposite. What happened was I had been training my standard dynamic Qigong, standing form, with a blind mask on, partially in the sun and then partially indoors when it became too hot and a mosquito was buzzing around my nose. And after about 1 hour of practicing body-mind method of Zhineng Qigong, with the blindfold on, I came out into the sun and I took my orange and blue paper and I thought I would practice. I was attempting to distinguish the blue and the orange, and I didn't have any success. And so I just put the colours down and I just enjoyed sitting, pulling chi, and just sensing, as I normally would with my eyes closed, the movements of the open and close, of opening and closing chi with my hands. And I was just enjoying that with the sun beaming onto me and onto the mask. And then I was sitting cross-legged, and I did have an orange and blue paper on either knee, on each of my knees. And I lifted up my blindfold, my mask, and I looked at, I think it was the blue one first. I looked at one of the papers on my knee, and it kind of blinded me. You know, when you look straight at, you've been in the dark for a very long time, and then all of a sudden you're startled by intense light in your eyes. It was like that. So I'd been mostly an hour with a mask over my eyes, practicing Qigong. So very, very relaxed, very, still mind, relaxed body, mask on, plus sun was shining onto the mask. When I lifted the mask and I looked at the blue paper, the sun was shining right on the blue paper and it reflected up in my eyes and almost blinded me. And instinctively, I put the mask back down quickly. And then I just relaxed. I mean, I was kind of relaxed anyway, but I didn't try to see anything. It was like 1, 2, 3. In about 3 seconds, I could see everything. It was like I could see everything, but I couldn't distinguish colours. You know, when an artist does a monochrome painting, that is how I was seeing, and my gaze was down. So I could see the outline of my knee, the outline of both knees. I could see the outline of the papers. I could see the mat, the distinct stripes on the mat that I was sitting on top of. I could see the distinct stripes of the pavers, the bricks, the brickwork was very, very clear. And I could clearly see the woodwork on either side of the stairs. And I remained still because it was like the more still I remained, the more clarity it was. It was so crystal clear. But I wasn't moving my eyes around. I was keeping my eyes completely still because I didn't want it to stop. And then when I felt, okay, I'm going to try to move my eyes around a bit, it would stop. So then I lift up the mask. I tried my head in the direction of my right where there was a lot of foliage, and the sun was hitting the foliage. So after having the mask down, and then lifting the mask up, looking at the foliage with the sun shining on the foliage, it blinded me, which is what I wanted. That's how I got the effect previously. So I was blinded by the sun shining on the foliage that I was looking at. And then I put the mask back down, stayed very, very still. In about 1, 2, 3, it was like it just switched on. It all came in. I could see every outline of every leaf clearly. And I was, trying not to get too excited because it was like I had to be completely still in the mind for the image not to fade. And this time I could look around a bit more. And okay, so I've gone from the foliage. Now I've come over to the corner of the stairs, and then I'm looking at the brickwork of the stairs, and then I'm looking closer towards my body. I'm seeing the mat I'm sitting on. I'm seeing my knees. And then maybe it would start to fade out by that time. So then I just kept doing it. That was my practice. Everything was in monochrome. Perhaps I would describe the monochrome. Now this is going to sound strange because I've just said monochrome, one color only, but I would say kind of orange and purple. So the darks, actually now this is going to sound really weird. The darks were the bright orange and the bright light parts were the purple. The opposite of what you would think it would be. So it was like where the light was shining the brightest became dark, but the dark areas in between the leaves were bright. I'm going off memory now because I'm recalling the experience as I record myself documenting and talking about it. So my experience has been that I really couldn't. I gave it a good go, attempting to recognize colors and then distinguish colors, and I only tried the two. I heard that it's good to use orange and blue because they are opposite ends, and orange is quite powerful to help open up the mind sight. But in my instance, maybe I'm not there yet. I'm not sure. But it's more, I could really start to see just normally, but in the funny color. The color was different. And what I'm working on now is, this is such an unusual realm that it's not as simple as just seeing exactly what you see with your eyes closed, especially in the beginning, because there's all kinds of dimensions that exist and mental spaces that exist. So it felt like I was seeing in the past. So the first time it felt like I was seeing in the first few times that I had the very initial experiences, reflecting, I think I was seeing I was capturing the past, yet I could look around in the past. I will explain now. So I would be blinded by the sun. I'd put the mask down quickly while in that blinded by the sun state. I would just relax and wait for the images to come in. And I was seeing exactly what was around me. I could move my head around. I could see exactly the brickwork, the woodwork, the shapes of the leaves, clearly see all of that. But I would put my hand in front of what I felt like I was looking at, and you would expect that I would be able to see my hand and that it would block the image that my mind was seeing, but it didn't. That's what's made me think it's like I've captured an image, but I'm not seeing it in real time, because if I was seeing it in real time, I would then see the hand that had come supposedly in front of the image. However, the more I practiced, I started seeing movement as well. So then I was practicing using my hand as the object of what I was being blinded by. Let the sun shine on my hand, look at it, let it blind me, and then cover the eyes with the mask. Wait, just wait for the image to come in, and then move my hand around. And it did move around. So it was more like I was seeing in real time. Now the key here, I noticed it didn't work if I needed a good amount of time to be in the dark. If you put the mask up too quickly, it doesn't seem to switch it on. So have a long time with the mask on in the dark for a long time, and then you get hit by the light, and while hit by the light, put the mask down. And wait long enough so that you really feel you're in the dark before you try it again. Well, that's the stage that I'm up to, and I will continue and keep you updated. I hope you're practicing too. Let's wake up our abilities. Share with me in the comments if you are, and you can offer any suggestions, especially those that have trained a lot more than me. I'd really appreciate that. And let's all unlock our dormant potential. All the very best, community.